All right, Chris Popper here in Bangor. I'm joined by Coach Mark Shields down in Bar Harbor for the Allen Financial and Insurance. Uh, yeah, I got that right. Allen Insurance Financial Coaches Show. Coach, congratulations! A nice win over Gray-New Gloucester last week. Tell us a little bit about the game, if you would.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Yeah, it was a nice way to start the season. I mean, nobody wants to come out and lose the opener, and I'm sure Gray-New Gloucester felt the same way. So they were pretty excited to get a win as well. And we knew they'd be a quality opponent. They run a spread type offense. They have a real athletic quarterback, and they have some nice receivers to throw the ball to. Uh, so they were going to be a handful to stop defensively. We were hoping maybe offensively we might be a little bigger than them and might be able to get the run game going. And fortunately, we were able to do that. I thought our offensive line did a real nice job, and our backs ran the ball well. And so yeah, I mean it was a good win. Of course, we had to give up that kickoff, Chris, because
Well, I
that's
was I was going to ask you that, so let's get to that. We talked about special teams, and of course, you marched down the field, scored, and then turned around and allowed a 75-yard kickoff return.
yeah, so that's pretty frustrating. You're right. If you're a ground control team and it takes numerous plays to get into the end zone, if you can, we did that, and then sure enough, got the 2 point conversion, and sure enough, we kicked the ball off, and 5 seconds later, they have a touchdown. So it's the Shields curse. I don't know, Chris. I've had numerous special teams coordinators. I've even been a special teams coordinator myself. And for whatever reason, kickoff has been our Achilles heel. So Coach Byrne, Elias Byrne, you know, he was upset, obviously, disappointed. And I told him about the curse going into the season. Um,
It's
so
kind of
he was
like if you're Harry Potter, it's a fan. It's like the being the dark arts professor. You never survive the year, right? It always something horrible happens.
Ugh. So anyway, um, you from the outside looking in, people are like, do you guys ever practice kickoff? And it's like we do all the time. Oh my gosh. But for whatever reason, yeah, we had one of our players, he lost his lane integrity, went too far inside. And of course, when you go too far inside, it opens up these huge gaps. And there goes the Gray-New Gloucester running back to the end zone for a touchdown. Unfortunately, we got a little bit better as the game went along, but yes, we're back working hard at that, and hopefully we'll be better against Orono Friday night.
I thought that you played very disciplined. I especially towards the beginning of the season, you can end up having a lot of flags thrown, and I think that there were only two flags thrown the entire game. One was I think, a legal procedure, and then the other one was with a second team in there, and one of the defensive backs got beaten, held on to a receiver to avoid a big play.
Yeah, right. So we were very pleased with that aspect of the game. I do think we played disciplined football, considering as many times we ran the football. Um, Honestly, probably every play there's some sort of hold going on, and the officials, probably know that. But our guys looking at tape, I mean, I really didn't see any obvious holds up front, which was nice. So that's key. If we can continue to play mistake-free football, that's only going to help us, going down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. And great job in terms of the center and quarterback, getting those handoffs done nicely. Kind of old school having Cal Hodgson, the quarterback, under center. Now, I don't think he really went out of the shotgun at all, if I remember, or maybe once or twice.
Yeah, not much. Maybe a couple of 2 point conversions,
Yeah.
but overall, excuse me, we stayed in our I offense. and we're able to move the ball that way. And so, yeah, that was kind of the game plan going in. Once again, we thought maybe offensively we'd be able to do that, and fortunately we were. So, yeah, so that was good, and we were able to get Jaron Beekert, a touchdown catch as well. So, I mean, we do have that ability to throw the ball, and we have some nice athletes to throw the ball to, and a good quarterback that can throw it. So, we have that in our back pocket still.
All right. So, one more question on to last week. Did you award a game ball? And if so, to whom?
Yep. So Brady Thurston is a senior. Uh, Brady's one of those guys that, he's been buying his time. He's played since he was a freshman, and he's worked hard, and he just keeps getting better and better each year. And um, he stepped in as a starter this year and did a real nice job. Sorry, at our strong corner position, and against a team that threw the ball as much as they did, we needed those guys to perform well, and he did. So I was real happy for Brady Thurston to get the game ball.
All right, excellent. So, how has the week gone? I mean, it's been beautiful in terms of weather-wise, to be able to get out there and prepare for Orno.
Yeah, I've been hearing some of the boys clamoring about they're ready for October weather. It's been pretty warm. I mean, I know the nights are cool, but by the time we get out there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's pretty sticky, and I think it's going to be the same today. But
Yeah.
we've had another really great week of practice. I actually commended the kids last night after practice because the way we break down, our week, much like many teams, is Monday is lifting and film and going over some new stuff. And then Tuesday and Wednesdays are your so-called work days where you're really implementing everything. And, the kids have to work hard those days. And our kids, they've responded. They responded all last season, and it's continuing this season, which is excellent. Really pleased about that. And then tonight being Thursday night will be basically our pregame where we'll just kind of run through some things. All our special teams, we'll run through those again. Kickoff, I'm sure we'll go through that a couple of times. And then we'll run through our defense and our offense and get ready for the Red Riots on Friday.
And everybody wore their helmets. I mean, during these stickier times, if you that's kind of an inside huddle joke. The first day of preseason was a little disconcerting how many people needed to have their helmets off, and Coach Shields gently reminded everyone that football required you to wear your helmets.
Yeah, I like that word gently. That was kind of, I think, how I felt it went too. So yeah, they've been
Yes,
wearing their helmets, which is nice.
right. Gentle reminder. All right. So tonight or tomorrow, Friday night. Now, one thing we want to remind everyone: this is a 7 o'clock start. It is the only 7 o'clock start. All regular season. All the others are 6 p.m. So 7 o'clock start tomorrow at Orono High School. And this is a matchup between the defending 8-man large and the 8-man small schools. So very interesting. Orono didn't lose an awful lot of people from last year's team. And this is a team that's really been 4 years in the making. I mean, if we remember going way back, um, when all these kids were freshmen, they took their lumps and they had some severe growing pain, but now they're reaping the benefit of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, their coaching staff has done a tremendous job up there. Bob Sinclair, he's just, been doing it forever, and they run a quality program. And yeah, I mean, they're super athletic. I mean, you look at them on tape, and they have a quarterback that throws an incredible ball. They have multiple receivers they can throw the ball to. They have a nice running back in the backfield that runs fast, and they have a solid offensive line. So they're a handful. And then defensively, a lot of those kids are on the defensive side of the ball and their special teams. So they have a lot of weapons. And probably the biggest thing is they know how to win big games. I mean, they have been in the state championship the last 2 years um, against Old Orchard Beach, and then they were able to knock them off last year for the state title. And yeah, kudos to them. They just figured it out, and they're going to be tough. We have to go to them. It's going to be a hornet's nest up there. Should be a good crowd. I think it's going to be great for 8-man football in general to promote the sport. I mean, I don't know how many times you could say that two defending state championship teams are stepping on the field. I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Yeah, I don't recall that. And it's kind of what everybody always wants is who's best. Well, settle it on the field. And granted, it's not the 23, 24 teams, but it's the next best thing. And it should be a great game. So outside of scoring more points, how do you beat them?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. We'll find out Friday night, but for starters, defensively, we have to slow down their pass game. I mean, they've been throwing the ball all over the field. I watched their Dexter tape, and I mean, I don't know how many yards they threw for and how many touchdowns they scored off their pass game, but that's super effective. And then they have a nice little run game too, with a quick little back in the backfield and a solid offensive line. So I mean, we got to try to contain them. I don't know. It's one of those like you're not going to stop them completely. You're just not. But you hopefully we can contain them a certain amount, and then obviously we have to put some points on the board ourselves offensively, and you can't make mistakes in big games like this. You hear coaches all the time at the end of big games like this, if they lose, it's usually turnovers and special teams is what they talk about, and if we lose a turnover battle, it won't be a good night for us. If we lose a special teams battle, it's not going to be a good night for us. So, there's just one of those games we just have to play disciplined football and play hard. And I just think it's exciting for everyone involved. And win or lose, I think both teams will come out better football teams by the end of the game.
Well, I mean, I would think that if MDI plays their so-called traditional game of move the chains, run the ball, occasional pass here or there, controlling the time of possession is going to be key to slowing down the offense. I mean, if you don't put the offense on the field, obviously you slow them down.
Right. And that comes down to turnovers as well. Um, if you're turning the ball over against a high-powered offense like Orono, then you're going to lose. It's just that simple. And yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to have to move the chains and try to keep the offense on the field. And I mean, we're going to have to try to find the end zone from time to time if we're going to
Right.
have a chance of playing with these guys.
Well, it should be a good game. We'll be on the air starting at about 6:40 on Friday night, and again, you can listen to the game on the WDEA website at wdea.am on our free downloadable app and on any Alexa-enabled device. So it should be, like you said, just a great game, and look forward to the call of the game. What do you want to say to the community?
Yeah, well, thanks again for your continued support. We had a nice crowd against Gray-New Gloucester.
Yeah.
I heard stories from some of the students here that it was hard to get into the student section, which that's awesome to hear. And um, yeah, I mean,
I
if you
I particularly, excuse me, just one second. I was able to see towards the end, as they were waving, singing goodbye. They all had their phones on with the flashlights, and so they were all waving them in the stands, and it was like the fireflies. It was very, very, very cool to see, especially from the other side. So good job there by the students. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's been phenomenal the last few years. Our student section has been jam-packed and the kids are excited and they're having a good time. And so that's been cool. And I mean, our guys feed off of that, if you have a nice home crowd. So maybe, it'd be great if we could have some people make their way to Orono. I know it's a Friday night and people are busy, but I think might be worth the trip. I think it's gonna be a fun game to watch and exciting. And if you can get up there, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you're home the following week at six o'clock. So if you can't make it up to Orono on Friday, come out and cheer on the Trojans next week as well.
I
So
think we're at Yarmouth next week.
oh
Yeah.
yes. Yes,
we're
I'm
at
sorry.
Yarmouth, and then Morse we're going to
Yes,
schedule the 27th. I think we're back
right.
home.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I looking
One
forward
game at
to
a
it.
time. I like that, Chris. You're focused on one game at a time.
I'm planning on flying Air Viber down to Yarmouth next week.
Right.
All right. All right. Well, we will see you up in Orono. I hope you have a great night tonight, great practice tonight. And then we look forward to Friday night's game on WDEA. Thanks so much, Coach.
Thanks, Chris.